Hello friends, it is time to get back on track with all the projects, all the me-made things, me-made wardrobe things that I want to make and that I'm hoping will inspire you guys too. I have to apologize for the background here, it's a total mess. If you have followed me for a little bit, you know that I just moved and everything is complete chaos still. I did have an injury to my leg, well actually both my legs. I got the piriformis syndrome in my left butt cheek, which means the nerve there that runs through my pelvis and into the leg gets squeezed, and it's very, very painful. And I've been struggling with that the entire autumn, and it's getting better now. All of last week we moved November 1st, and all of last week I was just laying, horizontally all the time, which helped a lot, and it has healed a lot. Still not quite up to par, but at least I can walk without screaming of pain now. So there's that. So there's still a lot of chaos in the apartment. We're not organized yet, but we're working on it. You know, a little step here, a little step there. I also broke my other foot in the beginning of August, I think it was. That has healed now, so as long as I don't bump into anything with that foot, it's just fine. But yeah, it's been a rough autumn. It's been, the past month in particular has been very rough because, moving, oh my lord. There's a story there, I may tell you someday. I've moved a lot of times in my life, but this one was absolutely hands down the worst of all of them. It was awful. But things are coming down now. We got all our stuff here, even though it's not organized yet. And I want to get back into the swing of things and into making things that I hope will inspire you too. But I'm going to make it a bit easy on myself. I haven't been able to set up my cutting table yet. To my left here, that's where that table is going to be, and it is currently occupied by boxes and stuff pretty much all the way up to the ceiling. So I won't be able to cut any fabric this week. Hopefully next week. So we're going to ease into things, and I'm going to do a smaller knitting project. We are going to make, well at least I am, Lovikka vantar. I'll insert a picture here of what they look like. So I bought this yarn. It's called Lovikka. It's a heavy, loosely spun wool yarn, Swedish. And the story of the Lovikka mitten, or Lovikka vante, as we say in Swedish, is that back in 1892, there was a woman called Erika Aitama. She lived far, far up in the northern Sweden, and it gets very cold. They're very cold winters. And she and her husband August were struggling to make ends meet. They had a lot of kids. I read somewhere that they had 8 kids. And in order to help provide for the family, Erika was knitting mittens. And one day she got an order from a local man that needed something warm, really warm, because winter was really cold. And he needed warm mittens. And so she had this loosely spun wool yarn, and she knitted him a pair of mittens, but she made a mistake. And it became very, very hard, very, you could, especially when the mitten was cold and wet, they became so stiff that they were very uncomfortable to wear. She probably used 2 small needles or something. So what she did is that she took the mittens and she wet them and pulled them and kind of rugged them like this, on the inside and outside. And the mitten became very soft, very comfortable, and above all, very warm. And thus was the Lovikka mitten born. Lovikka is the small village where Erika and her husband and kids were living. So they became a thing, have been for more than 100 years now. So the Lovikka mitten became very popular and have been ever since. And I thought that I would take this opportunity to actually make a pair for myself, because I've never done that. So we're going to knit a pair of Lovikka mittens. We are going to make them soft and like fluffy on the inside, embroider the cuffs and all that. And yeah, so first thing, we are going to wind up the yarn. I've also got some leftover blue and yellow and red yarns that I'm going to use for the embroidery. But let's start by winding up the yarn and start knitting. I will link, I'll see if I can find an English pattern for Lovikka mittens, and I will link that below. So yeah, let's get started. Getting started, but for some reason I could only find 4 of my 5mm sock needles, so I had to use one metallic metal needle. I'm sure it's fine. I have also got tea. This is the first time in 2 weeks that I've been able to make tea, so yay for that. Back to knitting. So I've been knitting away for a while now, and it's a very tight fabric, so it's kind of hard on your hands. But I have knitted the first part. Well, you knit this part first, and then you flip it inside out, and you start knitting from the inside, because this part is getting turned like so, and makes the cuff of the mitten. So that's where I'm at right now. Let's see. There we go. So it's coming along. It does take a little time because it's with 5mm needles and this heavy yarn. It's kind of, you need to work to get it through. But yeah, coming along nicely. Now I'm going to break for a late lunch, and then we'll continue. We are making progress. Mitten is coming along. Let me fold up the cuff like so. So this is where we're at now. Coming up is the thumb, and what I usually do, I just pull a piece of yarn through the stitches that I am going to use for the thumb. But for this one, the pattern says to knit in with a different color yarn. Let's see, I think 6 stitches for my size, and just leave them there. It's a technique I don't usually use, so it's kind of new to me, but let's see if I can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, was it 6? Yes. I'm just using this yarn double because it's a lot thinner. So there we go. 6 stitches on, and then I'm scooching them over to the left hand needle again. And there we go. And let's see now. Hang on a second. And I'm just going to knit with the Lovikka yarn again. there we go. Now I'm just going to, excuse me, continue knitting until I've finished the entire palm of the mitten and decreases at the top, and we'll be making a thumb after that. Yes. So, continuing knitting. Okay, the mittens are done. And I totally understand this, the sentiment that they are very rough or really kind of hard, because they are. It is, even though it's 5mm needles, it is quite small needles for the fabric or the yarn that you're using, so the fabric gets quite sturdy. But you can totally use it anyway, as is. But you can also just grab some hot water and some soap and kind of felt it with your hands. And you can also use, what are these called in English, cord, to fluff them up, which will make them softer and even warmer. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to omit that this time because my hands are so sore from the move. You know, you wash your hands a lot when you're moving, at least I do. So I'm going to skip the hot water and the soap and just keep them as is, which you can also do. So next step for me is to start embroidering and, you know, do the decorations and the little tassel that is going to be on the cuff here. Now the thing is, what I realized when I had knit the first mitten and I was ready to do the decreases in the top, somehow I had cast on 31 stitches instead of 30. And I figured I'm not going to, you know, rip back all of this and do it over again just because of one stitch. So I just figured, I'll just leave it. It's fine. So I did the decreases, I did the thumb, knit the other mitten, and cast on 31 stitches for that one as well. But what I didn't realize until I was going to start embroidering, and I am using, oops, let me show you the colors again, these for the embroidery. And I have started on the first mitten. Quite happy with that. But the thing is, when you're doing the embroidery, let me show you the drawing. Each square here represents a stitch in the mitten. So it's kind of a square pattern, which means when I'm following this, I will have one stitch too many compared to that. But I figured, you know what, I'll figure it out. I'll make it work. And I think I did. It's not too obvious. Can you tell there's one stitch too many in the cuff? I'm quite happy with this. Also quite happy with the colors I chose. So that's where we're at now. Next step, I'm going to embroider the other cuff. And then we're going to make the tassel. And I think I'm going to just crochet it. I have some yarn left. Where is it? There we go. I got plenty of yarn left to do that little tassel. So first of all, embroidering this cuff. And then we're going to make the tassel. Yes. Not too bad. I really like this. So the only thing left to do now is to make the tassels. So let's do that real quick. There they are, tassels and all done. This was a fun, quick and easy project. Perfect for making Christmas gifts for someone. Maybe you have someone, you know, someone with Scandinavian heritage. Maybe you are Scandinavian. Swedish, this is a typical Swedish thing. But even, you know, for most Scandinavians, I think they would enjoy getting a pair of these for Christmas. I will probably set mine away and gift them to the homeless community. In the city where I live now, they often put up like a wall where they can, where people can donate like winter coats and stuff. You just hang it on that wall and someone who needs it can just go and grab what they need. And I think they have had a solution for leaving mittens and hats and stuff as well. So I might do that with these mittens, since they are really warm and cozy, even though they're not felted. Maybe I will felt them first, we'll see. But yeah, quite happy with how they turned out. And you can also choose different colors for the cuff when you're embroidering the cuffs. It's entirely up to you. I like these colors. I think these are called the original colors, but as you can see in the pattern picture, they have chosen just red and light blue, and you know, so there's several different varieties you can go with, or you can just, you know, pick whatever you think is pretty. So yeah, mittens are done. Yay! Very happy about that. So that's it for this week. Just an easy coming back to this series project. I am now going to try to continue organizing my studio, which is a complete mess. You can see that behind me, and there's a lot of boxes over there, and there's even more boxes over there, so there's a lot to do. And I'm hoping that I will be able to do some sewing for our next project. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's it for this week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!